Welcome back to Any Percent. Woo! Any Percent is America's favorite monthly, formerly bi-weekly podcast about video game analysis. My name is Evan Sampson, and I'm joined by a bunch of folks. Let's start with the guest this time. We never start with the guest. Fuck my normal co-host. What's up, Greg?
How's it going?
We got Greg, and we got Kody.
What's up? Yo, we look like the Power Rangers right now.
No, we do not.
Just
I don't know what you mean by that at all.
Yeah, we look like the Earth Kingdom.
Well, you know how like in the regular show when they're at like high school or whatever, they're all wearing their color that they are when they are a Power Ranger.
That's what
I you would.
Right. Like they pick a color and they just stick with it.
Yeah.
I have a pink shirt,
you
so
guys...
I go get that.
We can't all be Dark Green Ranger. Like,
did you guys see that video that was going around Twitter of like all the Red Rangers like doing their transformations in a row, like to fight like a big bad guy? It was like from some movie from the 2000s. And it was like, I didn't even realize, dude, there are so many fucking Power Rangers.
There are, yeah. They used to do a new season, new cast of characters like every year or something, like every 2 years.
Do you remember the dinosaur ones?
It's like a 10-minute section of them just being like, Mighty Morphin, and then they're like Dino Mode or whatever, because the Dino ones, like the magical girl transformations that they do.
Yeah.
It's great. I'll have to send it to you guys. And we also have everybody's favorite, Casper Karen.
Me.
Woo!
We did take a poll, and Casper is the definitive favorite member.
Yeah, he's the fan favorite. Yeah. Among the 40 to 70 woman demographic, he's huge. He's huge with your mom.
He's like the Harry Styles, like how of One Direction,
He's the Harry Styles of One Direction.
So which one of us is Zayn? The one who really thought they could go it alone and then just got absolutely overshadowed.
Oh, like the which Beatles member would that be as well?
George Harrison.
Yes, actually, yes.
Did Ringo Starr do like a lot of music? I don't like the Beatles, so
I don't think he did
hot take. I don't know. Yeah,
he might have had a band. I forget, but definitely
I think
Paul McCartney
he was like the most
that.
like laid back one though. He was just kind of vibing the entire time.
This is true.
For sure. Stoned out of his mind.
Oh yeah.
Who wasn't?
Yeah. Right. It's the 60s, baby.
Oh yeah.
Who wants to go first? Kody. Let's catch up. What's funny is since we've been doing these monthly now, like I actually don't know what you've been up to like at all for the last month. Like, so what have you been up to?
So shit. You know what's funny, dude? I've been playing like old shit, like old stuff. So on I got like what is it called, like PlayStation Now or whatever the stupid name is. Because the new service is about to launch, and if you get the old one, you upgrade for free. So I saved like $120 like a year or some shit. So I just like stacked a whole bunch of PlayStation Now. Anyways, I'm playing the first God of War. It's like
for PS2.
Yeah, so PS2, but they remastered it for PS3. I think it was Bluepoint who actually did the remaster. So I've been like doing like a level every night. That's been a lot of fun actually. So I think I'm gonna try.
You're just hanging out on the sex mini game at the beginning.
Hey, listen, I don't want to say I nailed it first shot, right? The sex mini game. Listen, I don't want to, but yeah,
he's a bit of a maestro.
So that's been fun, and then I have. Oh, actually, you know what? I played. This isn't old, but I played Tunic on Xbox Game Pass. I'm just like a service guy now. I don't know if you guys can tell.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it. I'm gonna stop playing it though. It's not jiving with me that much.
Yeah.
It's too Soulsborne like.
Why is it really
too
hard?
tough?
It's just like doing the same thing, but it's not a fun. I don't know. I'm not having like fun with it because I'm like the roguelike guy or whatever. I don't know. It's really obtuse for like no reason. It's trying to be like.
Well, I think that's
yeah.
I think the reason it's obtuse is to be obtuse, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like, I think it was extremely intentional.
Did you beat it, Evan?
So no, I actually haven't played it, but I watched like reviews about it when it came out, and like for like Casper, it sounds like he doesn't really know anything about it. There's no English in the game.
Yeah, it's like
it's all this like crazy
language.
just runic script.
Okay.
And you like, what is it? You find pieces of the instruction manual to the game, like scattered throughout the world. It's like a really cool idea, but like, it also seems like a chore.
So
a little
basically,
bit.
like when you get dropped in Brazil.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that time that I got dropped in Brazil,
Yeah.
just like
and
that.
you just have like no idea what to do, where to go.
You have to learn to read Portuguese, which might as well be rude.
So like I can see why I can see why certain people like the game a lot, right? But it just didn't jive with me. So I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna uninstall it. You know what I'm saying?
Wow,
It's getting
that's
the boot.
bold. Yeah. It's definitely an indie sweetheart these days. Like people really liked it.
It's a beautiful game for sure, and it's one of those where the art style doesn't match like the gameplay like on purpose, right? So it's got like this cutesy little art style, like storybook like, but then you're just like killing everything, which is pretty cool.
Killing. I love killing in my video games.
Definitely give it a shot, especially if you can play for free or included or whatever with the game.
Would you please stop shilling Xbox Game Pass on our podcast, bro?
They're actually paying me money under the table, so I gotta mention
It's not
it.
under the table anymore, then, is it?
I gotta mention it like 5 times.
Very much above the table now. Do they call game like when so software as a service? People call that SaaS.
SaaS, yeah.
Is Xbox Game Pass gas?
It's a good question.
Yeah, something to consider.
Yeah,
that's probably why they don't say it because it sounds awful.
So yeah.
So are you good?
I'm
you
good,
bro.
That's pretty much it. Other than that, dude, I'm just like drowning in comics. Like I'm just reading like.
For our audio listeners, he's holding up a stack of comics.
Can you hear it? Is that good ASMR?
Yeah, make the crinkly sound. Yeah,
for the ASMR viewers.
But yeah, I'm trying to. You're always trying to catch up on shit. It's like a new like all these back here. I got to read them all, reading everything.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Well, that's fun.
Yeah.
I haven't been reading like any comics lately. Been meaning to. Did I tell you guys when I had COVID? I think I maybe said it on the podcast because this happened like in November of last year. But I got I'm gonna plug a subscription service, the like Marvel Unlimited subscription. And I read so many comics while I was sick. So I just had nothing to do.
That's cool, dude.
Awesome.
So you're reading like
sick.
Yeah, Marvel Unlimited has a ton of like the old shit, like.
Yeah, and it's all really well organized. Like you can like look up storylines, and it'll show you like the cross comic.
That's like the hardest
entries
part.
in the storyline. Yeah, like I read like the Death of Wolverine, which crossed a couple different comics, which was really cool.
Right.
But yeah, no, it's really cool. Casper, what have you been playing or doing or being?
Speaking of comics, I've been reading One Piece because I've been collecting the series since I was born.
Since you were born?
It came out in 1998, I think. So it's been a while. It's I haven't been reading them, but I've still been collecting them, so I'm like 20 books behind. I've just decided to read,
oh man, I gotta get I want to see a photo of this. This like wall of manga you have.
The picture layer. It's just I have to stack them in front of each other because there's just so many. I wish it was like Dragon Ball. Have you guys ever seen like the Dragon Ball covers where like
they might make an image, right?
Yeah, like the dragon goes along the whole binder.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah,
I like that.
But that's probably because well, actually I don't know. Is One Piece still like ongoing, Casper? Like the manga? Yeah, so that's probably why. That's probably why they don't have an image that like
probably
begins, you know?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think Dragon Ball might have started that way. They might have planned it.
Yeah, I think they were just like, if we just repeat the same pattern, it'll look really cool.
That's a good point too.
Tessellations and shit.
Fucking smart, Evie. So fucking smart. God damn
it. So I've just been reading through One Piece, trying to remember everything that happened.
Nice. So you started from the beginning?
Yeah, because there's like a really big arc that's happening right now. So might as well just go through the whole thing. It's a lot faster to read the manga than like the 1,000 episodes.
Yeah, I'm only on episode 600.
Yeah.
And that sounds like a joke, but it's the honest truth.
Yeah. Somebody sent me like a clip called like One Piece something, and it was someone like had recut an episode of One Piece to like make the pacing not
I think they call it One
so
Piece.
bad.
One Piece.
Yeah, One Piece. Yeah, it's awesome. Like
that's great.
I watched like a 20-minute episode in like 5 minutes or whatever, and they put them side by side. This one comparison video.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
cool.
And it's like kind of comical to see where it starts to diverge. It's like like really early on, you know they're like it's like a battle between Luffy and this sumo guy, and they spend like several minutes where he's like teetering on the edge of the like about to fall out of the ring.
Yeah.
It's
It's
so I'd
all
never bothered to
filler.
watch One Piece for that. Yeah,
Yeah.
seems like way too much filler.
If you get into One Piece now, just go for the manga. I
Yeah,
always said manga. I think it's manga.
I wasn't gonna
Oh,
say
it's
I
a
don't know. You
manja.
know what I mean? I'm not like that. You know. to correct you, but
What else have we done? I tried playing this game called Carry On. You play as
Mm.
like the monster that escapes the lab, and
Yeah.
you like
oh yeah,
Devolver
was-
Digital,
dude.
right?
I
Is it-
thought you meant like carry on luggage, bro. Like, I was like, what a game, what a concept.
it was a cool game. I didn't beat it. I kind of got bored. It was
Mm.
I don't know.
Do you like shoot your guts out to like attach to things in that
Yeah, I
game?
don't know how it is exactly. It's just like a mass of
Yeah.
You're like a
flesh.
Venom symbiote, right?
Yeah, something like that. It's you like as you go through, you get more power ups and stuff, and different ways to eat people.
Yeah.
It's
Pound
cool
of
concept.
flesh. Sounds like my ex-wife.
Ayo.
A massive goop.
Oh,
Massive sentient flesh.
another game.
Well,
Oh, what?
no, I was just gonna say it's like I feel like I haven't played a game like this since Prototype. I don't know if you guys remember that
Mm.
PS3, Xbox 360 classic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all about eating people, innocent
I
people.
need to remaster that.
No, I think it's probably fine if they don't.
Oh, I played My Friend Pedro. I didn't beat that one, but
Oh, nice.
it's-
Also, Devolver.
Yeah.
is it? Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't run
You're a
away
Devolver
from them.
fanboy and you don't even know
Yeah.
it.
Like slowing down time, like doing flips and shooting people.
Yeah, it's like Bollywood physics. Like you kick up a frying pan,
Oh,
shoot
yeah.
it, and it like ricochets, and
Hell yeah.
it's pretty cool. I like that game.
There's like a sequel coming out, right?
I think
oh,
so.
is there?
Something?
Oh,
I
that,
think they announced something.
that's pretty cool.
Fucking-
I beat Black Mesa, which
Nice.
is the remake of Half-Life 1. Way better, in my opinion, than Half-Life 1. I mean, Half-Life 1 is a lot older, but they actually
Yeah.
cut a lot of stuff out. And I never beat Half-Life 1 because I would always get stuck in this one part. It was like this underground railroad or like a transit type part.
Mhm.
I hated that part. And in this game, it pretty much cut all of that out.
Did it cut out Harriet
That's
Tubman?
good,
Um, but yeah, it was cool. And they even added, I guess the big thing about Black Mesa is at the end of the original Half-Life, where you go into like the other planet where the aliens come from, Zen, they actually added a bunch of stuff to that. So like there's this boss, I think it was called like I don't know, Gnark or some weird thing. It's pretty much like the mama head crabs.
Friggin' flea bomb. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a like a mama head crab, but it's like huge and it's got like a big testicle egg sac thing swinging around.
Nice.
Same.
Does it still have that scientist running towards those soldiers going, "Wait, take me with you. I'm the one man who knows everything."
It does still have that.
That's a really good impression of the Half-Life scientist. Holy fuck.
That was good. Oh yeah, but the Gnark in the original Half-Life, it was just a boss, and this one in Black Mesa, it's just really cool. It's an entire chapter where you're just running from him, and like you're like crawling
That's
through
cool.
tunnels, and it's on top of you trying to get to you. It's pretty much if you want to get into the Half-Life series, I would start with Black Mesa.
So it's
Yeah.
like a remix as opposed to like a true to form like
Yeah,
remake, like pixel by pixel, just like better
Yeah.
graphics or whatever.
pretty
Sounds like
much.
they
I mean,
yeah, like cut a whole bunch of stuff that wasn't necessary for the experience, but
I
It seems described to me
expanded
as
a
a
lot of
love
stuff,
letter to
too.
Half-Life 1.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard that a developer for Half-Life Alex, he went to go play Half-Life 1 for like inspiration, and he just couldn't do it. He just wasn't having that much fun. So he actually played Black Mesa, and he liked it so much more. So even the developers
So
at Valve
sick.
like
Yeah.
Black Mesa.
Yeah. Yeah, it was really cool. I've only played the beginning of it, like when it hit 1.0 a while ago, but I like just walking into Black Mesa, like the facility, and like because it's like a really tiny entrance room that you walk in. There's like a dude in the original game. There's like a dude at his desk, and he's just like, "Hey," and you walk by, whatever. But you come in, and it's like got all these screens, and it's like blue,
Yeah.
and it's like it looks way cooler, and they totally changed the level geometry of stuff like a ton. It's definitely more like a love letter than anything else.
Yeah.
So cool.
I remember I went to PAX East and those guys were there, the devs of Black Mesa, and I was just like asking them like questions about it, and like, are you guys allowed? I was like asking them like the legal side of it or whatever, like, are you guys allowed to do it? Like, is it Valve sponsored? And like, oh yeah, like totally. You know, they're not coming after us, and in fact, some of the devs, like you said, Casper, are like super into it. So
Yeah.
Little do they know, Gabe Newell's been slowly swimming from New Zealand to
like,
them.
like he's like
to kill them.
He's like Godzilla, like crossing the ocean, like on the
Yeah.
on the ocean floor.
There's just little bits of bubbles near the surface, and that's all. Cool. Anything else you've been playing, Casper?
No. Oh, the only other thing is I built my sister a gaming PC. I'm getting her into PC gaming.
Nice.
Ooh.
And, yeah, probably.
Yeah, I know. You're really slapping her with like the undead curse, bro.
No,
What are you doing?
Not only that, I have so many Steam games, and we're family shared.
Dude, the share, yeah.
So she just has a buttload of games now, just a whole huge backlog.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
If I gotta suffer through it, she has to too.
Because
Yeah.
she was
We'll have
borrowing.
to have her as a guest.
Yeah, that's a good point. She was borrowing like a lot of like she would jump on your computer all the time, right, Casper? And like
Yeah, she was using my computer a lot, and then she eventually just wanted her own.
yeah.
So I built her one, and for the most part, it went really well. But as soon as I turned it on, it just nothing happened,
Oh, it
and I
didn't
was
boot.
so
Oh, yeah.
worried. I just didn't push the RAM all the way.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
I've done that before. Like,
Yeah.
I fucked it. I completely broke it.
Oh, Casper,
nice.
good question for you though. Is her PC better than yours, or did you give her like some handy down parts?
It's better. No, it's better. It's just
Okay.
because she
Wow.
wanted something that would last for a while, so I kind of future-proofed it.
What a good brother.
Yeah.
If that was me, dude, like building one for my little brother, which is in fact what happened. I built myself a newer PC, gave him the old one.
Gave him
yeah.
all the old components.
Oh,
yeah.
Just take it.
I'd be lying if
I've
I
been thinking
wasn't
about doing
jealous.
that to my brother. Yeah.
But yeah, that's it for me.
Nice. Very cool. Greg, your turn, bud.
Mm.
What are you playing?
I've been quite busy.
And he has to go do something else, I think, right now. So I'll go, and you can tell me when you get back.
My sausage at the end.
All right. Respect. Listen.
He's got to get his sausage. It's a whole innuendo. I don't know too much about it. What have I been playing though? I mean, I beat Elden Ring since we last talked.
Mm.
I believe I hadn't beaten it the last time.
What- What ending did you get? The basic ending or?
No, I don't want to spoil it because we're
Okay.
not reviewing it.
Okay.
But I got one of the special endings.
Okay.
And I know everyone and their grandma has like played and beaten or given up on Elden Ring at this point, but still, someone could be listening that wants to play it.
Yeah.
I saw a funny article that was like, it's like 90% of Elden Ring's player base is non-active. Like it was trying to like dunk on it.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, duh, dude, it's a single player game and everybody already beat it. Like,
Yeah, they either beat
what do you
it
mean?
or-
Of course,
Yeah.
everybody's gone, bro. We'll be back when the DLC shows up. But,
Yeah, in other words,
that.
people left after the movie was over.
Yeah.
right.
Totally exactly what is expected
Right.
to happen. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I should have like prepped myself for this. I'm like, what have I been doing? It's all a blur. I haven't been able to play that many video games. Like work stuff's been really busy.
Mhm.
I did watch all of Severance on Apple TV, and I really liked it.
Adam
What's
Scott.
Severance?
Cody, I feel like if you haven't seen it, you would like it.
Yeah, it's on my list. I was watching.
Yeah.
I didn't mention it in my segment, but I was watching another Apple Plus TV show, After Party. So I'm like trying to make my way through the Apple TV Plus because I've actually been putting out some good stuff.
Yeah. What's After Party again?
So it's Miller and Lord. I think Miller and Lord working on it. It's a TV show. It's like a murder mystery comedy with like a awesome cast. Ben
And you're
Schwartz.
telling me that this is directed by like a small girl from New Zealand that sings? Who?
Phil
Lord?
Phil Lord and the guys who did 21 Jump Street.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
It's got Sam Richardson. I like him, so that seems a good enough reason to watch it
Yeah.
for me.
Put it on your list, dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been meaning to watch Severance. It looks really good.
Yeah, it's pretty solid. It's like just silly enough and not serious enough, but it also has like intrigue. Like I get really stressed out watching prestige shows. Like I'm also watching Severance right now, and I like just get like so anxious
Yeah.
about what the fuck these horrible people are gonna do to themselves and each other. Like I can't handle it. So it was nice watching something that was like not like a straight up sitcom or anything. That was, you know, it had like a pacing to it, and it just wasn't too stressful. So it was good. I recommend it. Yeah, that's it, dude. I don't know. But now we can do Greg.
Yeah, now I'm back.
Now that Greg's back,
I have not.
his sausage is cooked.
Yeah, it is, and it's gonna go into some nice pasta later.
Mm.
I haven't really had a chance to play all too much lately. Since I've been real busy moving, which is why my background is different. In case anyone's actually watching this.
Dang, we took so long to make this episode that Greg moved.
Yeah.
I got a
Twice.
tortoise.
I moved twice.
That's nuts.
But yeah, I've been playing a lot of Deep Rock lately. I can't.
Nice.
It's just like such an easy game to just sink in and do a couple of runs in.
Total comfort game. Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like that game.
I've also just been playing a lot of Paradox games, like a couple Stellaris campaigns here and there, a couple CK3 campaigns, maybe some City Skylines. If I really want to just vibe out.
They got a sale
Nice.
going right. The sale will be over, but there's a Steam sale for Paradox
Not yet.
Campaign.
It's not.
Oh.
Yeah, but
It
by
might
the
be
time the
over,
episode
like-
goes up.
Yeah, it might be over like right now, but it was not over when I was at work earlier.
Yeah.
Like I get this episode out, so we're topical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to date the
No,
figure out when we filmed it. But no, that's cool. I know, I feel like in our friend group we have a lot of Paradox fans. Bunch of map weirdos, I like to call them.
Is Civilization?
Civilization is not.
It's
Oh, okay.
Firaxis. I don't know how to pronounce it, but
Yeah, for Axis, I think.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's kind of the same flavor. That one is probably way more accessible than
It's
everything.
way more
It's for
accessible.
babies.
Yeah, that is a much much more simple. Because another thing is that the Paradox games are not turn based; they're like constant time. And Civ is obviously famously turn based.
Turn-based.
Kind of like Humankind, I think, is also in that vein. I haven't played Humankind, but it looks a lot closer to Civ.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's like kind of bridges the gap between the two, I think.
Yeah. Speaking of that, I tried out Surviving Mars because that was like by Paradox.
I've
and
actually
then
also been playing Surviving Mars lately.
I couldn't get into it. I didn't think it was that fun. I don't know why.
I liked
like,
it.
Yeah.
It's just like it seems like it takes a long time for it to like get to where you're like it feels like Factorio, but like less. I don't know. I haven't played much Factorio.
Maybe I should try it again.
Yeah, it took me a couple tries of like learning what would work and what wouldn't before I like started really getting it.
Right.
But I feel like eventually once you start getting all those domes down and you start getting the infrastructure right, it starts being a lot more like managey. And also, dealing with the disasters and stuff. A little bit like Frostpunk, honestly, in that regard.
Disasters are
Yeah,
fun
and
those kind
I
of
wanted
games.
to check it out because I like the Tropico games, and I was like, oh, it's by the Tropico devs but published by Paradox. Like that'll be like like right in that middle of those two. But I don't know, I didn't find it that fun.
I also like the build grid for that, hexagonal rather than square.
Yeah, that was cool. That was definitely cool.
But yeah, I did like the Tropico games. I played a lot of Tropico 5. And
Yeah,
I
Tropico's
own
awesome.
Tropico 6 and I still have yet to play it. I should stream it one of these days.
Yeah. All right, what do you guys think? Should we get into it?
Yeah.
Let's jump right in.
All right, fellas, we're talking about Outer Worlds, I forgot, as I usually do, to pull up the description from Wikipedia for people that maybe don't know about it. So, The Outer Worlds this is straight from Wikipedia. I love quoting it. Thank you, Wikipedia. Do you have to give credit to Wikipedia when you quote it, or is it like totally open
You don't
knowledge?
need to. Outer Worlds, it's Fallout with more capitalism.
Yeah, he nailed it.
Classic.
Very true. Yeah, it's just, yeah, the description sucks. Yeah, it's a Western RPG game, that is set in space.
Yeah.
Have you ever wondered what Borderlands would be like if it was a Bethesda game?
Yeah, literally.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean,
Of course, it is Obsidian, though. Like,
right.
Yeah.
So it's got some pedigree.
It's got a lot of Fallout New Vegas feel to it.
For sure.
Yeah. But it's first person. I'm trying to just like drop keywords about it for SEO, you know.
Oh yeah.
First person, bullet time, dialogue tree,
reputation
choice
system,
reputations. It's pretty par for the course, like Western RPG. Like, feels like Fallout, feels like Skyrim, feels like all those. It feels like Prey.
Yeah, it's kind of like
it's all
where you like where the Fallout series like should have gone probably a long time ago. But they just take so long making their games, you know. Of course, Starfield's coming out, which is kind of funny because
Jazz.
Obsidian.
I am excited for that. I have not looked into it at all, but just like the concept of it sounds fun.
For sure.
Yeah, I'll probably get it.
Very aggressively avoid any news about games that
That way, it's totally surprised.
I think Starfield got delayed.
It did.
I did see that news. I at least was going to be waiting around in November. Like, where is it?
He's got a fork and a knife.
Ready to eat. But yeah, I think that, you know, something that stuck out to me when playing. So I beat Outer Worlds a long time ago. That's probably where we should start, I guess. Like, how much time did everybody put into it? So this time around, I only put maybe around 10 hours. I was trying to rush to the DLC that I haven't played yet, but you kind of got to almost beat the full game before you can do the DLC. But I think that I like Outer Worlds a lot. When it came out, I was pretty big into it. I didn't do any assignments for like a week and a half and just played through it. So
my schoolwork.
Yeah. So yeah, that was me this time around, probably only around 10 hours. So
I was already out of college when this game came out, so I was just ignoring my girlfriend and my cat. Just kidding. I didn't play this game when it came out. I only played like 6 hours of this game. I know I had a whole month, but like I said, I didn't have a lot of time for video games this month, and I just didn't grab me, honestly, and
sometimes
get into
like
why and stuff.
You gotta be like in the mood for a certain type of game, maybe, or
I think in general these types of games don't do it for me that much. Like, I have never the only like Western RPG like this I've ever beaten was Skyrim, and that's because it was like the game to be playing when I was in high school.
You were
like
lame
100%.
if you didn't play Skyrim.
Yeah. And then like I didn't beat Fallout 3 or 4 or Prey, as we have discussed. I didn't beat that. Like, I just don't beat these games.
Yeah.
They just don't do it for me.
Is it because they have like a lot of different stuff like all over the place?
I think so. I also just don't think, like, I'm not that big into first person shooters in general. And so like if you half-ass the first person shooter stuff, it just doesn't, like, I feel like if I'm gonna play a first person shooter, it's gotta feel good. Like, I love Doom, Eternal, and Doom. Like, those feel so good. And like I just thought like shooting people in this game didn't feel that good, and like it's like half the game.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely. So when I first played it, I played it on PC, but this time around I played it on I played it on Xbox One, and it was, or Xbox Series, whatever. Anyway. But it's very
you don't
clunky.
even know what you got.
Very clunky playing on controller. It didn't feel, and they have the time slow down, which you mentioned before, the bullet time. It's definitely supposed to like supplement, like. It doesn't feel that good to shoot things to move around with the controller, right?
Yeah.
So we got the bullet time to help you out there.
The bullet time is cool, but it's that was a cooler thing. I think
it was more like more of a
Fallout
system
3.
versus.
Yeah.
I think it was called Adreno time, right?
Something like
yeah, time dilation or something they call
Yeah,
it.
because you were frozen or
I-
something. and
Okay, I think it was the medicine you took. I think that was adrenal time.
yeah.
I
Yeah,
think. I
it'll
played.
fuck you up, bro.
I think I played around like 20 hours.
Hmm.
I kind of I felt the same way as Evan a bit, where like it wasn't grabbing me. I played like an hour a day, and I eventually
Yeah.
beat it, but I wasn't like hooked, and I wasn't playing for like all day or something,
Mm.
But I mean, I beat it. I liked it. I did all the faction quests and I like companion quests and stuff. The main stuff pretty much. There was a couple missions I didn't do.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. And then Greg, what about you, brother?
I got recently. I have like 5 hours in this game. I did like I beat it.
Did a little refresher.
Yeah, I did like a 35-hour playthrough before when I first played it, and it definitely hooked me. I'm into these games, but
Yeah.
I love the world. It's like so much like going on in it. It feels like there's really like a lot of interactable NPCs, which I really liked.
Yeah.
I also really like it's just like a really pretty game. Like a lot of the landscapes
Yeah.
are really beautiful. And honestly, as far as these games go, I think it's got like the best gunplay. Like as far as like
Oh, it definitely
if you
it
compare
definitely
it to
beats
like
Fallout 3.
yeah,
Yeah.
well, Fallout 3 is fucking like 10 years old.
yeah,
It came out in 2008. It's 14 years old.
yeah.
Or 7.
yeah.
I forget.
Probably, yeah.
But
It's I mean even like comparing it to Fallout 4, I liked it more than Fallout 4. But after the playthrough I did recently, or like I started a while ago, but then I picked up again recently. I've been doing a melee only playthrough. Highly recommend. I made the character really dumb, like using the dumb trait. Funniest fucking dialogue that you could possibly get. Every time I pick it, no matter what, and it's always like a much better interaction than when I went through before and just use like normal dialogue, because it'll be something like somebody like you could catch somebody trying to fucking hide a body and you just be like, oh man, this isn't where you're supposed to put the trash, and they're like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I think that's a really cool feature of the game, the like negative stats you can take at the beginning.
Yeah.
That was like the first thing when I was playing it that I was like, oh, this is a cool game. Like I know I said I didn't end up liking it that much, but I was like,
that is a
dope.
cool
mechanic.
aspect.
So
Which one did you
mechanic.
like run into first, Evan?
I wanted to make my guy weak and smart, so I gave him like negative strength. And then put all of his shit into brains,
Yeah.
and then a little bit into charm because he's like a
smooth talking Yeah.
scientist.
Did you get to the point, Evan, where like did you ever get perk points?
Yeah.
Did you get those phobias and shit?
Yeah, did you get negative? Like there was a point
No.
eventually, like say you die to the Raptidons or whatever they're called a lot.
Or like if you take enough damage from something, you can like get a debuff for it for a perk point.
Yeah, you'll get like Raptidon phobia, and if you take that, you can get an extra perk point.
But it'll be like plus
cool.
10% damage. Like Raptidons do 10% damage to you, or like you do minus 10% damage to them. Like it is like, to me, most of the time it was like too detrimental for me to consider. Like I was thinking like I'm gonna get perk points anyways. Yeah. But some of them were like stuff that I wouldn't run into very often. I thought like, yeah, fucking why not?
Yeah, the one I ran into in this past playthrough that I decided to take actually was I kept on like, because I'm playing with the controller, I keep on accidentally hitting the heal button. So eventually you do it so many times you like become addicted to drugs, and you have to like use a drug every now and then, or else you'll like have all these negative side effects.
Like withdrawals.
So I'm like, you know what, I have so many heals, like I'll just do it, because it pops up a icon on your top left. Let you know that you are like experiencing withdrawals. So I'm just like, whatever. Hit myself with a heal if I'm full health, whatever. Just
one of mine.
That one
That's
was
nuts.
fun. But
One of mine was I became a food addict. I had to keep eating, or else my stats would just continue to lower. So every so often I just have to like pop a bag of whatever their food is called.
So you're just like picking up food everywhere and just like, that's pretty funny.
The thing about these things is like they're cool that they give you that extra stat, and it's kind of same with like going negative in the intro part, but like that shit will just go up if you play the game. So like you're just setting yourself up for a permanent problem
For sure.
for a resource that you can just get elsewhere, essentially, you know?
I
Yeah.
think
It's like
But sometimes it's fun for roleplay.
oh,
That's true.
I agree with that. That's what I was gonna say. Is like I was happy to take like minus 100 weight limit, you know, so that I could be a scrawny widow scientist. But like, that's like all of it, though. That's the only reason to do it is to pretend.
I think
Maybe the dumb thing is just really funny, though. That sounds really cool.
No, it like if you haven't given it a chance, I like highly recommend making a dumb character because to me it makes the game completely different. You interact with every NPC in such a different way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And most of the time it doesn't actually like punish you. Like if you're dumb, you sometimes you still have access to the other dialogue options, but you also just have like this really funny one.
Just fake it till you make it, man. You can do a lot of things in life when you're dumb.
I do think the build, like the way that you build in that game is like very like you can concentrate into certain points to like make a really like specified build. Like when I was doing that melee only build, you could do like this vampirism kind of thing where if you like hit someone with melee, you get a little health back, which is really useful.
You just like their blood splatter hits you on the lips, like
Yeah, and it's really useful when your entire strategy is to run forward and bash with big hammer because big hammer,
Yeah.
big hammer.
That's funny. So my kind of playthrough that I was going for was kind of like what Evan said. Like I wasn't so worried about like the melee stuff, but I put a ton of stuff in intelligence and persuasion and stuff like that. I got to a point where I can pretty much just like boss my companions around and just like tell them like, go kill stuff. I'm gonna like loot, and I'm just like walking around, and my companions are just doing all the work for me. I think at some point you can get a shrink ray, so I'm trying to get like be the shrink ray, so I'm gonna not kill anyone, but my companions is just gonna like shoot a bunch of shrunken people.
What was
that's
your
the goal.
favorite companion?
Oh, that's a good question. Well, so I guess before we jump into that, Casper, what kind of build did you were you kind of going for?
I went for like a smart scientist type guy, engineer.
Oh yeah, we have a type, boys.
That's
We
like
them
the
skinny Twinkie boys.
It just feels
that-
like the most
that are
natural,
smart.
right? Because like you got to be able to hack, you got to be able to like, do that kind of stuff.
See,
right?
I find if you have like a real like bad build for that kind of thing, you have to use your companions. Like,
Yeah.
Right. That's
Yeah,
true. You have to
I
like.
do like having to like manage it more as a team and not being able to just lone wolf the entire time.
I didn't actually realize
Yeah.
that you had to level up a stat like specific stats for companions.
Yeah, they have their own perks or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, so I did that later because like I couldn't even use I knew that they had abilities, but they were blacked out. So I
Right.
didn't know how to use them.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know you could do that. I didn't get far enough. Yeah, the companions are cool though. I mean, it's a cool system. It's better than what Fallout 4 did with companions.
For sure.
Which is to say basically nothing.
Yeah.
Um,
And
like seems like they actually all have cool, unique dialogue options when they are like with you and in conversation with the NPCs, and they all have their own abilities and stuff. It's cool.
yeah,
I
they
liked
like
it.
jump in the conversation and stuff, and like they'll have I think and this is kind of where the Obsidian developer part shines through more than like the Bethesda part. Is their writing, right? So like all the companions like feel like they were here first and they've lived a life, and then you just jump in and meet them, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I think
So to answer Greg's question, I mean everybody falls in love with Parvati, right?
Yeah.
I like Pavarti.
Yeah.
My favorite companion
Ashley
was Pavarti
Birch's
though.
dulcet tones, dude.
Oh,
she,
dude.
she could talk to me any day.
Sorry, my favorite companion was Sam.
the mechanic or the bot.
Mess neutralized.
Oh yeah.
When
I
Sam
didn't meet that
jumps
character.
in to the, because he'll jump into dialogue too sometimes, and it's
Yeah.
always just the best fucking quip that can come out of his fucking speech as speakers, I guess.
Yeah.
Plus, he just
I haven't-
fucking
I
melts
haven't-
shit. He actually melts shit. He's really useful in a fight.
Yeah.
He's a robot companion.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's a cleaning
robot.
robot.
Modified to shoot acid.
Yeah.
Hell
So
yeah.
like he will keep
My man.
just being like mess eradicated.
He's actually on the ship the whole time. You just have to like find the right parts to activate him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's cool.
What about
Did you guys
Casper?
get the? I like the priest companion.
Oh, Vicar. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
you can
Vicar
become.
Max.
I didn't know he could become a companion. with
Yeah, you
you.
have to like find.
I liked his character.
He sends you like on a quest to find a book or whatever.
Yeah.
You give
I didn't turn that in, but I did.
you give him the book and he's like, "Oh, thank you. Finally, now I can learn." This is French. I can't read French.
Yeah,
And throw it on the ground.
Fucking French.
Yeah. And he's just like, okay, can I go with you? Because he's like in search for whatever answers to the higher power, Scientology,
Yeah.
or
Law.
It's scientism.
Scientism.
Law.
I wrote that down. Yeah, I only like hung out with Parvati. I didn't get to know any other companions yet, but I thought her character was cool, and like how like it seemed like she
She's
had a story
just
beforehand.
she's
with
like
her
the space
family and
capitalism equivalent of a sweet Midwestern girl. I mean,
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and so like she's not very like confident in herself, and like you see her kind of like standing, like when she jumps into dialogue, she's like more assertive and stuff. I don't know. When I first played through it, I was like, wow, this is way different than your Fallout, way different than like Fallout 4 and stuff.
yeah, because like it kind of feels like they're actually developing,
Yeah,
for sure.
Mhm.
I was not expecting like when you go to divert the power, like I'm pretty sure most people are like fuck the company,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
they're dicks, but then she goes, if she's with you, she's like, hey, maybe reconsider, like you're gonna I know I don't like them either, but you're gonna hurt people if you do that.
right.
And it was like,
Because she's lived with those people, right? Like it makes sense.
It
for
made I
sure.
did still say fuck the company, I'm
Yeah.
union all the way.
It's
But
the companions are cool because they'll all have different ideologies, and sometimes when you're talking or whatever, they'll actually fight or argue with each other about
Right.
what you should do.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So depending on who you do, you might
Yeah.
get like a completely different answer or whatever.
It is very
Yeah.
replayable, especially because it's so short.
True.
Which,
Yeah.
Right.
That is a
honestly,
benefit.
when I finished the game, I was like, wow, that was a very digestible length campaign.
Right.
Yeah. For the first time ever.
Yeah, I finished it and I was like, that was very refreshingly short. It was enjoyable, but it was like not too long. It didn't overstay its welcome. And I really like that.
Right.
Yeah.
I definitely think.
Yeah. I feel like I thought I was like not getting through it, but I feel like I must be like, if I beat the first area or whatever, like the Emerald
the
Vale.
game does really open up, like once you make that decision to divert the power and then you get off the planet, it really does open up like that.
Yeah.
Because like right after that you have the decision, well, you have to go to like a certain place, but then right after that you can go to like multiple different planets, I think, once you do like a couple quests. And that's where you can see like each planet's got its own landscape and environment and that sort of thing. So that definitely makes it more interesting than the tutorial planet, right? Like
Yeah.
they're just trying to show you like, hey, we got choices and here's your first companion, that sort of thing.
Yeah. And it was, I don't know, I guess I wasn't thinking of it as like a tutorial planet. I thought it was like indicative of the size of the game overall.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Because all the other games usually just dump you out into the world.
Just walk.
And you can go wherever.
Right.
Yeah. Even if it gets you like, shot to death. So it was weird. I felt restrictive, but yeah, they were just, keeping the training wheels on me.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's how The Witcher 3 was. Like the first area feels kind of big, and then you go to the next area and you're like, oh.
Yeah, you're like, oh wait.
Yeah. This is a big ass game
I
that I will never beat.
I did think there was a lot of really cool environments. Like even in just the vanilla game, like excluding DLC, like Monarch is a really beautiful planet to walk on, even if it is incredibly dangerous. There was like that failed terraforming asteroid belt thing.
Right.
Yeah, that was cool.
Where I really like that. Where like the entire map is basically under these bubbles that are left over from a failed terraforming project. That was really cool.
And then like the first like when you first get off of the first planet and you go to the shipping like
the groundbreaker.
Groundbreaker, yeah. And it's like what did they say? Like the only part that's not controlled by the company.
Yeah,
because I think
that's the sister ship of the ship that you were on.
yeah, it's
Right.
one of the first colony ships.
Yeah, and it got turned into like basically a galactic transit hub.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and it's like the planting the flag, like, hey, we're the only place that's like free from the companies.
that that ship is pretty cool because once you like get through customs or whatever it is,
Mm,
and you actually get to like that big door, it opens up and
yeah,
it's just like a bunch of like company billboards all over the place. It,
yeah,
it
yeah.
looks pretty cool.
Yeah. Do you guys have any like moments in the game like visually that were like that stunned you, like kind of what Casper's saying, like you open the door and it's like, whoa.
That's definitely the first one, the one that Casper said, like when you realize like,
yeah.
oh, there's all these different businesses and there's a ton of people to talk to on the groundbreaker and
Kind of like the Blade Runner moment, you know? You look at that
Right.
and you're like, that's a
Yeah.
real cool visual.
Yeah.
Oh.
I like the when you I know I only played the first area, but like when you get to your ship and then it's like, okay, go to whatever it's called, Edgewater.
Mm.
You can see Edgewater and it's framed really well in this. I took a screenshot of it that I could probably put in the video, but it's like two little hills. I say mountains, they're just little hills. And then the spire at the center is like coming up right between them, and it just makes this nice little castle silhouette. It's really
Right.
cool. Classic video games, go to the
Yeah.
castle. Yeah.
You just
What
think,
about
like,
what about you, Greg?
in general, just like I think that moment for me was probably stepping out onto those asteroids and just being like, wow, like you can like see all the stars, and
Yeah.
you just kind of like are sitting there like you're like, wow, this is really space, you know, like we made it, we're in a space game.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, that part was pretty cool. And that's like the one that sticks out the most to me.
Yeah.
But also, the just like Monarch is like when you first get out and you kind of just like look across and there's this sprawling hostile wilderness. And you like the entire time leading up to it, you're just hearing like, "Oh no, don't go to Monarch!" Like, but like
Yeah.
you just keep hearing like Monarch's basically a dead planet. Like,
Right, because like you're trying to ask like people like, oh, how do I get there? Like, I need like that nav key or whatever to land there and all that stuff. And
yeah,
then people are like, why the hell are you trying to go there? It's super hostile, like whatever. Yeah.
yeah, like because like through all of the dialogue, I like the entire time leading up to it, I'm just imagining like this dead planet,
Yeah.
like barely even an atmosphere, like full desert, and then you get down there and it's just this lush like jungle canyon with a bunch of like rock features and shit and a bunch of
Yeah.
wildlife running around, and you're like, what the fuck? And then you get attacked, and you're like, oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, man, I should have gone to another planet. You guys are making me want to go back and keep playing this game.
But no, that's the
It's
thing
pretty
though,
much
Evan. Like, if it didn't like, if you're not jiving with it now, like, not much you can do, right? Like, you shouldn't force yourself to.
It is
Yeah,
like
but-
definitely like more of the same. It's just with a lot of different scenery.
Yeah.
You might
Yeah.
you might have like the urge to play it later on, though, I will say, but
The pacing of the game is kind of weird because the first planet is pretty big and Monarch is pretty big and everything else in
Yeah.
between is really small.
for sure.
So like you go
When you say first planet, do you mean what I
the
did?
tutorial planet.
That's considered big on the scale, because I thought that was wicked small.
It's
It's when you compare it to other games,
yeah.
it is.
Well, yeah,
small.
for sure,
Yeah.
for sure.
Monarch was definitely larger, I think. But
think
Yeah,
so.
there's a
wasn't
lot of
that-
Monarch.
Yeah, Monarch's probably the
Mhm.
largest, but like the first planet was probably the second largest.
Wow.
Yeah. So after that, you're kind of like if you just do the main story, you're probably like halfway through the game.
And I can't speak for the size of the DLC. I
Yeah.
do know one of the DLCs that I was doing. It was really interesting. It was on that gas giant planet, and it was like a bunch of floating islands, basically.
Right.
It was real cool. Like they're all just basically being held up by jets, I think. Like
Yeah, I gotta play, man. I
That's
gotta play
sick.
the DLC. It's kind of, I get it, but when the DLC comes out, so it must have come out like a long time after the game came out, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So at that point, like we're talking about it. It's been a while, and I would want to replay it all anyways, but I kind of just want to jump in the DLC. Oh, something that I gotta rant about for a little
get
bit.
to the DLC by playing a dumb character. That's the solution.
Right, then you have fun while you do it. That's a good point. So I originally put in like maybe 4 hours on my PC, and I tried to do like a cross save thing on my Xbox, and like this is the one game that doesn't cross save, even though it's like a Bethesda, which is like an Xbox thing, so you'd think it all meshed
It's
together.
not Bethesda.
Yeah, but it really
This
pissed
game
me
is
off.
not Bethesda.
I don't
Not
think
Bethesda.
yours is involved.
Yeah, it's
Obsidian, but the really pissed me off, man, because I had to restart the game and I just did like all the same things because I like where my character was going. So I just had to restart like 4 hours. But
Yeah, that sucks. That blows.
If I was really into the game, I wanted to play one playthrough and then I wanted to play a second one with the I don't know, it was like survival difficulty or something where like you have to sleep, you have to eat.
Yeah, I was never
that's
into that.
cool.
Like in when like that same kind of mode was in the Fallout games. I never really. That's not why I play these kinds of games, but I could see like the allure to it, you know.
Yeah.
I did it
It
for
is
Skyrim
hardcore role playing.
Yeah.
because you could like camp and shit with the Creation Club stuff,
Mm.
and like
that's
that was
cool.
just a good way for me to just like zone out and lose a few hours, just roaming through the Skyrim wilderness.
Eating whole ass cheese wheels.
Hey, I would
And
hunt.
one right.
Yeah. If I could rant about something for a second, since we're on rants, why all these games allow me to steal anything I could ever want from anyone ever,
Yeah.
and they rarely make me feel bad about it, and I'm like, you should make me feel bad somehow. Is there a negative perk that I will get in this game, like from stealing too much, that turns me into like a kleptomaniac
That's
or
a
something?
good like where you have to.
no.
I never tried, but maybe.
You guys don't just steal everything when you
No.
go somewhere?
Sometimes, but half the times
I'm
my
just a piece of
inventory was
shit.
full, so I just didn't. I couldn't.
Yeah,
yeah.
I ran into that a lot.
Half the times I just
Oh,
think, well, this
I
is somebody else's.
Nice
It's
guy,
a
Greg.
computer.
Yeah.
I don't care.
So whenever I would like sometimes when you steal stuff and someone watches you do it, they run up to you and they're like, "Hey, what the heck?"
Yeah.
And then I
And then
was
you can
like,
just be like, I didn't steal anything.
I would have
You can
such
hit a
high
button that says-
persuasion that I would just be like,
Yeah.
"You didn't see it. I didn't do it." And they're just like, "Oh, okay."
I
I
think
thought
there's
it
a
was-
dumb dialogue option for that too.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I thought it was weird that this game didn't have pickpocketing.
That's a
yeah.
good point
Dude,
too.
yeah,
I
no one
never
has
realized that they
pockets.
just said that, but-
It's the future. No one wears pockets.
Yeah. Just carried it all around in your hand.
I didn't really get
Um,
why there was like so much like you in the city you would find something on the ground, and you couldn't just take it. You have to steal it. But it's like whose toothpaste is this on the ground? I mean,
in the middle of the city.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah. That's, I don't know.
You pick
either.
it up and some guard from like a mile away sees it and starts running towards you.
You got to bring it to like Lost and Found in the city or something like that.
Yeah.
When I went to collect the power drive thing from Edgewater after I cut the power, the first time I went, I like killed everybody, all the guards, and then it was like your reputation went down like a ton. So then I reloaded my save and I went all sneaky mode. The only time in that game I snuck through, grabbed it and ran. The only thing that sucks is you immediately aggro everybody standing out front of the plant when you do that.
Oh really?
Like there's like a big crowd of people like protesting or some shit out front, and you could talk to them for a second, then go in, and then you steal the thing or whatever, and all the townspeople pull out their guns that I guess they had, and they just start lighting you up, dude. It was very weird. I was not expecting that at all.
Huh.
Yeah, definitely sneaking and pickpocketing stuff was not
The best.
I mean, obviously the pickpocketing wasn't there, but just like that kind of gameplay didn't really seem
It wasn't as centric as, or at least
like
as viable.
especially when you in the very beginning of the game, like when it's like, oh, here's how you crouch and stay undetected. So you'd think like at the start, oh, okay, maybe this is gonna be a big part of it.
Dude,
But
Yeah.
It is when you're playing melee only.
I got you.
Yeah,
that makes
makes
sense.
sense.
Yeah,
Gotta
yeah.
close those gaps. Yeah.
there's a part Evan didn't get to it probably, but later in the game you get like this holographic disguise, and in certain rooms
right.
you could like sneak in and they would think it was you, but it would like deplete over time.
Yeah, unless you like got out of sight.
You'd be like on
Yeah.
a timer. Yeah.
And then you have to talk to them and try and get out of it and like recharge or something.
Yeah, you get like 3 strikes or
That's
some
cool.
shit.
Yeah.
Huh. All right. What else we got, boys, on here?
Oh,
You guys want to tell me what the story is
wait, before that,
of this game?
I want to rant. I
Oh,
want to
yeah.
rant myself about one thing. This is super
Sure,
small,
your
but
rant, one
every
rant per
time
episode.
you talk to someone, half the time they have like this. It would be like a different scene when you talk to them, and I think it would be rendered higher, and they would have like a light source appear behind them, so their ear would always glow, kind of like that subsurface transmission you would get. And it just weirded me out because when you talk to them beforehand, their ear isn't glowing, and then all of a sudden there's like a light source behind them.
Right.
And it just looked
Right.
weird.
I also noticed that it's totally like a separate, it's like a separate scene when you start dialogue, like
Like it kind of, you can see kind of like a cut.
Well, I put Parvati in armor
Yeah.
or whatever.
Oh, and then her helmet's
and then
off.
in the cutscenes, she's just in her normal clothes
Right.
again, like the same
Yeah.
clothes that she always wears.
Yeah, true.
So.
Yeah.
That's
is
weird,
something
actually.
Different model.
She shows up in armor in my cutscenes. Like they'll have their helmets off.
Def-
But...
Yeah, their helmets take off. I think. Yeah.
Maybe I just put a helmet on. That's all I did, and I was like, "What the heck?
Yeah.
The helmet's gone."
Anytime you talk
But-
to them, their helmet goes off, which I guess
Mhm.
makes sense.
I think you can actually turn that off too. You can change that setting.
Oh, really?
Hell yeah, helmet's
Yeah.
on all the time. The helmet stays on.
Yeah, I think you can change a setting to leave the helmets on during cutscenes and dialogue.
Okay.
Well, with your helmet on, Casper, tell me what happened during this game. What's the whole point of this game?
Story.
Spoiler heavy discussion.
You are waking up. Oh, okay. First, you are a passenger on the Hope, right? That was the name of the colony ship that was going to whatever system this was, the Halcyon system.
Yeah.
But something goes wrong. Everyone on the Hope is stuck in stasis.
Yeah.
Then you are waken up by this like mad scientist guy that pretty much wants to bring down the corporations. He wants to help the people of Halcyon.
More like mad dope.
He is pretty
scientist,
cool.
mad
He's
sick.
So pretty much, he wakes you up and he sends you on missions pretty much the whole game. Although you can, I'm pretty sure, backstab him like immediately.
You can turn them in. Yeah,
Turn 'em
yeah.
in.
So you can just immediately just become a corporate slave. I never tried it.
No, I actually don't know like who do you follow after that? Do you like?
Yeah, I
follow
don't
the
know how that would
corporation?
turn it.
Maybe it's just an alternate ending. I didn't do it either, but there is that option to I know exactly where he.
Yeah,
he's
what if
hiding.
it just ends the game? Could just be a game ending.
Yeah,
It
it could
could
just be
be,
an
I-
alternate ending.
That would be funny. But so pretty much he sends you to a planet, the first planet, which is Terra 2. And he sends you there to meet with the captain of the Unreliable.
Yeah.
As soon as you land, you just right down on him.
Squish him.
You just land right on the captain.
Hawthorne.
Yeah, Captain Hawthorne, which you can take the identity of, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people, called me Hawthorne or Captain.
Yeah, so you could either just go with that, or you could just use your own name, which is another thing I kind of wonder how that would change the story. The game gave you a lot of options, which I liked.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely again, there's a bunch of replayability if you wanted to explore all of the options it gives you.
Yeah,
Which is why it's such a good thing that it's a short game.
Right.
Yeah.
yeah, and then pretty much the rest of the story is just you either taking down the corporations or helping the corporations, or I think you could just help yourself too. That's probably another option. Just
I mean, it's an
do
Obsidian
both.
game.
Yeah. So yeah, you go to Terra 2. You either help the Celtuna,
Yeah.
right?
Factory.
Celtuna factory, or you help the Gardens or something, like a
Yeah.
tribe of people who split off because they didn't like
Deserters.
deserters.
Awful people. No, they're great.
Swine.
But I guess so what is it, Casper? Like the mad scientist dude, I forgot his name. He's a really
Phineas.
Yeah.
Phineas. Yeah, he's a really fun character to talk to.
Mhm.
But his whole goal is to the part I am at right now where I can remember is he's trying to revive everyone from the Hope because his thinking is like, oh, these people will help us in our quest to fight the
It's
corporation.
everyone in the Hope was like a scientist or some shit.
Yeah,
Right.
Just
Yeah.
supposed to
It's
be colony starters.
Yeah.
It's a really good call to action right at the beginning because you're getting woken out of stasis and you're just wake everyone else up. It's fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
It's definitely a good motivator early on.
Because I guess the whole thing is because the Hope went off course and everyone was stuck in stasis, right? The growth of the Halcyon system didn't go the way it was supposed to. It was taken over by corporations instead of free people,
Yeah.
I
And
see.
corporations basically ran the place into the ground.
Yeah.
pretty
So
much.
it's pretty on the nose with its themes.
A
Yeah.
little bit.
Just a tad.
Yeah. But either way, there's like it's not so simple as just pressing the button and waking them all up, because
Mm.
like the Phineas had to make a special concoction to safely
wake you
revive
up.
you.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So that you wouldn't experience what like
Like
explosive
rapid,
cell death.
rapid
Yeah.
explosive
Yeah.
decompression or whatever.
Yeah, you just
Yeah.
like melt into goo.
Some
Yeah.
awesome like ironic sci-fi affliction or whatever.
When you
Yeah.
eventually go back to the Hope, you can actually find like log files from Phineas testing people, because you actually weren't the first person who tried to wake up.
It's a little dark, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of sad too, because he's like going. It sounded like he wasn't crazy, and then he's just slowly started going crazy because people were melting in front of him. Like they would come
Yeah.
back for like a few minutes, and then they just melt into water.
Explode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was like freaking out, and you actually kind of feel bad for him, because throughout a lot of the game you don't really know how much he actually wants to help people, or if he just is in it for himself.
Right.
Yeah, they kind of keep his intentions really vague most of the time.
Yeah,
That's cool.
but
So what do you think then at the end, like after playing it, like were his intentions good?
I think so.
Or do you think it's like a
I think it's pretty clear. I mean, he was testing on people, so I mean, either way they were dead.
Yeah, that's-
in one
Yeah.
sense, but maybe it could have been done a better way. I don't.
We could get into a whole ethical
Yeah.
discussion about like actual like because they freeze people today on the thought that they could live someday,
Yeah.
you know.
Although
Those people are like dead when they go in.
Yeah,
there's like a word for it. I completely forget, but it's where it's
cryogenics?
No, sorry.
Oh.
It's like in sci-fi where it's like a little dark, or maybe like maybe that's just good sci-fi, right? But
Spooky.
yeah, I don't know.
That's
oh, you're looking for like
But
a
the,
word for the genre or something.
Yeah, where it's like sci-fi, but it's not the hopeful like sci-fi. It's
It's
like
like weird
everything's got
sci-fi.
like it's all fucked up under the hood, you know.
Same.
But like for example, like when you're helping the deserters, and you find out, oh, she was able to like start a whole garden. That's great, right? Why do we need this saltuna? The reason why is because it's using dead bodies to like as compost or whatever for her garden. That's how she's able to
oh,
do that.
I missed that
I,
detail.
I missed that.
But
too.
you have to kind of dig for it. It's not
Right.
super apparent. But then on the flip side, like the Saltuna people, like they're putting like wood chips and like dirt and sand, and like it's not even
Yeah.
like
Oh.
actual food. And that's
You can tell the dude who runs the Saltuna factory, like, oh, she's figuring out how to grow shit in the soil because she puts bodies there, and she's like, what? That's genius. Like,
like, why didn't the company think of it first? That sort of thing.
he's like literally just like, oh, that old hag. How does she figure it out?
Right. So it's like, yeah. So like that's kind of, it's like, oh, at first on the surface it's very hopeful. It's awesome sci-fi. It's really shiny, but then under the hood it's like everything's all fucked up, which is something I thought was different than other, I guess, sci-fi games that I played.
Yeah.
So.
Are there any others that like come to mind as far as like something that's like tonally like this
Those are,
in any kind of media?
yeah. I don't.
Oh no.
I mean, I guess like
I feel
we already
like-
said like Blade Runner, like just that it's
Yeah, but Blade Runner starts dark.
Yeah,
Like,
this one's kind of
this
like
thing does have a
funny,
special
but-
thing going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is silly. And
Honestly,
then like sinister underneath.
yeah, it is like a dark humor.
Would
you know?
Borderlands be
Yeah,
considered
definitely
kind of
dark humor.
like Borderlands is a very
Borderlands.
similar universe.
Yeah.
I think as far as like stylistically, I feel like Star Wars is actually pretty close. Like,
Okay.
because when you think about the classic like dichotomy of sci-fi, you've got Star Trek and Star Wars, and Star Trek is very optimistic and like bright human future kind of thing, and Star
Yeah.
Wars is like this kind of dark end result of a lot of like bad decisions that keep getting made kind of thing.
Right.
Mm.
see that.
That's a good comparison.
I've never
Gareth,
thought
with
of Star Wars as like late capitalism before. I have to rewatch all those movies.
Right. Well, when they're talking all the
Recontextualize
Senate
them.
Senate meetings in the first
Yeah.
couple movies.
So
Yeah.
they don't get anything done, bro, and then someone just rolls up, drains the swamp. It's nuts, dude.
You heard it here first.
Just to like finish off the story, pretty much the whole end goal is to find the magic goo to help
Yeah,
the
it's just to
colonists.
find enough material to make enough of the serum to revive everyone.
And then
and then that's it. I figured there would be like a greater call to action after that.
well,
that's kind of where it kind of
Right.
There's different
So-
endings.
yeah. Well,
right.
right,
So like
yeah.
right
point
before
A
you
to
wake
point
up.
B.
Oh, sorry. What are you saying, Kody?
I'm sorry, everybody's talking about, but it's like from point A to point B, it's like kind of a short like main story. But then like classic Western RPG, like you're bobbing and weaving and doing all sorts of other stuff. But you're right, the initial quest to help Phineas, it's not that long.
Yeah.
So that's definitely goes to what we are talking about earlier, where it is really replayable and you can do different builds and do different choices and stuff. So
Yeah. Before you wake up the colonists, well, Phineas gets captured, but I actually don't know what happens if you turn him in right away, if that even works. But at least the way I played, he gets captured, and you have to like you go through Tartarus, which is like the prison planet, and depending on who you helped, since I did most of the game and I did like all the faction quests, all the factions were like storming
meet up with
Tartarus and
you.
like
Yeah.
they were like trying to beat down the corporation and stuff. So you're just like running through like an entire battlefield,
Yeah.
That's
and
cool. Yeah.
just to get to Phineas because he's the one who can wake everyone up.
Right. So it's
Mhm.
like, okay, you get the goal that Phineas was trying to go for to revive all the people, but now the story takes Phineas away, so you gotta like
Yeah,
that's how they kind of like extend it, I guess. But
yeah,
And I
Yeah.
also
Well,
think
and it sounds like they work in
there's
your
there's
decisions
obviously
at
like
that
different
point.
options for accomplishing that kind of thing too.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think there might even like if you have the right science stats, I think you might be able to even avoid rescuing him altogether and just like do it yourself.
probably. Yeah,
that sounds like a
Fuck
possibility.
yeah, that's so funny.
yeah. I think
Yeah.
you probably could do it. It gave you a lot of options to do it
There,
your
there
way.
there
Yeah.
is this is like
Be
like
role
a
play
very
game.
pure RPG for me because like
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
so many different roles you can play, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like such an extensive dialogue system too, and like so like your skills come in so much while you're talking. It's really cool. Like way unlike
Also the character
Fallout
creator,
4.
the actual like physical character creator, top notch. I managed to basically like one for one recreate Paul Rudd.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
That's
He's who my
badass,
berserker
dude.
character is.
Yeah.
I called my
Stupid Paul Rudd.
I love Bara, dude. Come on.
And he's
No,
dumb, dude.
but he made him an idiot, bro.
Yeah, I
Oh,
did.
shoot.
But the thing is, he says shit that I imagine Paul Rudd would say.
He does play a dopey guy in like most of the movies, so
Yeah, it's
literally.
nothing against him. I like Paul Rudd's movies.
yeah.
I don't know the guy though. I mean,
I like that. There's like a bunch of endings, and out of all of them, there is a specific ending if you're dumb that you can choose. If you
Oh,
like went
cool.
dumb stats, there's just a specific ending for you. Out of all the
Just
other
like
ones,
sit on the toilet.
It's very
and-
satisfying to
I want to see what
Yeah.
it is, but did you pick it, Greg?
I didn't. I haven't beaten the game on my second playthrough yet, so I haven't
Oh,
gotten
okay.
there.
I looked it up
But-
just because I
But
wanted.
now
to
I'm gonna have to.
Yeah.
Yeah. What a call to action.
I know.
We didn't really touch on the sound design. We're always really bad about this, but does anybody have any thoughts? I tried to be better this time, and then I forgot to be better.
I think
about
the
it.
ambient sound
Just-
design was really good.
yeah.
It really made like every single planet kind of had its own vibes, and it was because of the sound.
Yeah,
Like
cool.
if you just like close your eyes, you could like tell which part of the map you were on, which I thought was good.
Yeah.
I also thought the robots made fun sounds.
Yeah, like the sci-fi sounds in this game were like pretty top notch for sure.
The sound design was
Yeah.
also the music was really good in my opinion. It
I
wasn't
like
like
the music. The music was subtle.
yeah, it wasn't
I like
anything to
that.
write home about. It definitely enhanced the experience a lot.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
matched
I really liked the
kind
music in the Botany Village. I was like kind of grooving to it a little bit. I was like,
because like if you're trying to think about like what would like because this game is like pretty much a western, right?
right.
In like a western in space, so it's kind of like, okay, what would western music sound like if it was sci-fi?
Yeah. I think there's
What kind of
guitar in
emotions?
some of the music, isn't there?
There
Like,
totally
Yeah,
is
they're
like
just
slide
strings
guitar
and like
and shit.
piano.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's it's a blend of like traditional music and like synths and stuff. It's
Yeah.
cool. It sounds really good. I wonder who did it. Let's shout out whoever did the music.
While Evan's looking that up too, like I thought another point where it kind of separates. I feel like we're comparing this to like Bethesda games, but it's kind of just feels natural, right? But something that differentiates this game from Bethesda games, I think the voice acting in this game was like pretty top notch. Even if maybe the facial animations like weren't
Yeah, but it
to a
felt like
level
every
that
line was said with like the appropriate emotion.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's kind of like the voice acting was really good, even
Yeah.
if the facial animations didn't like match it all the way. But that's just like a, technology,
Yeah. Even the
thing,
random
but-
like NPCs, it didn't sound off. Like
For sure.
all the voices were good.
I definitely encountered some people where I thought it sounded a little stilted, but
Okay.
but that being said, like compared to a Bethesda game
yeah.
where they've got like 4 voice actors doing the entire game, like it was really cool that it seemed like most people had their own, unique voice actor, and like, just I think they spent their money. That's where they spent their money on the voice acting. I mean, they got Ashley Birch. She cannot have been cheap.
For sure. Yep.
Even at that point, like
Who was
2
that?
years ago or whatever, 3 years ago.
Who's-
She's Pavardi
Oh, okay.
or Parvati, and she's Alloy
Oh,
in
okay.
Yeah.
Horizon, and she's done like tons of other stuff. She's like
The Troy
probably
Baker.
the Troy
Of the female
Troy Baker of
characters.
video games.
Yeah.
Nolan North.
Yeah, I'm just like quickly looking. She's Tiny Tina in Borderlands.
Really?
She's done a bunch
Oh.
of anime.
Huh.
She's in Valorant. She voices 2 characters in Fortnite. I didn't know people talked in Fortnite. Yeah.
Oh,
So
I was wondering. Oh, actually, this is kind of off topic, but
now go for it.
would you guys rather the like, or what they call it, like the voice recordings that you pick up, or just read in like a text thing?
I am of the mind that
I think there can be a good combination of the two.
a good game with combination, is the way to go. But I feel like most of the time, just stopping everything to have me read, especially when it's really long. This game had a lot of short, like little blurbs, like messages back and forth.
But it had a lot of
yeah.
them.
Yeah,
Like,
it had
there
a
was
lot
a
of
lot.
short ones for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anytime you stop the game like dead cold is bad. But
Yeah,
I will
I
say
agree.
the writing in this, if you do take the time and like kind of, peel that orange, right? You're gonna find a juicy orange. The writing in this
By
game,
God, there's an orange in this orange.
like, dude, think about all the times, like, okay, in Skyrim, like you pick up all those stupid books, right? Like, I'm not gonna
yeah,
read
it's
this
like
shit.
who gives a fuck?
But in this
Yeah.
game, the kind of like corpo language and stuff, like that shit always makes me laugh. So
It is really funny.
Yeah.
so yeah, just especially messages from the company where it's like, oh yeah, good point. Like we're gonna send in like an armed robots to like kill all of you guys. That way we don't have to pay you any money. Like that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Like that's really good
Yeah, I
game-
do love this game's sense of humor.
for sure.
Yeah. This game didn't have any audio
Yeah.
logs, which kind of makes sense when you develop a game because it's so much cheaper just to write text than actually
Yeah.
hire a voice actor. But
For sure.
I kind of wish that they did because there's just so much. It'd be easier just to play the game. You know?
Yeah.
For sure. I'm a big fan of those in general, like, but they only usually in like a narrative sense make sense for like diaries.
Yeah.
And there were very few, and at least, sorry, I only played like 6 hours. I didn't come across like any diaries, like things that were like just one person's writing that's to themselves. There was lots of notes to other people,
Yeah.
And,
That's
like
that's true.
technical documents and stuff.
For sure.
Like
Well, you know,
lots of things.
The,
but-
could
the
see it, though.
corporations aren't paying you to write stuff about yourself.
Yeah, you gotta get back to the
Exactly.
line.
Yeah.
They aren't paying you, period.
I could have said it being like the corporations always recording everyone. You know, so everything you
Yeah.
say could have been recorded or something.
Yeah, that's true. They could have worked it in that way.
I mean, they can do that now.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So I guess
By
that's
the way,
not
if you listen
far-fetched.
to any percent, you have signed the any percent privacy policy, and we're allowed to do whatever we want with your phone. Anyone got any other thoughts? I feel like we've pretty much gone through the stuff we wanted to talk about.
For sure. I think we hit all the main points.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm feeling good, dude. I'm feeling really good about it.
Just remember,
Um,
it's not the best choice. It's Spacer's choice.
yeah,
so
that
good.
was really funny. It's like you've had the best, now try the rest. Spacer's choice.
Yeah, yeah.
I love how like you're just like the first person you meet is just like a corporate soldier with a wounded leg in a cave, and he's just like, yeah, my Spacer's choice pistol like accidentally misfired into my leg. And you can kind of just be like, give me the gun, son.
Yeah, he's got like all like level 1 skill checks for all the options.
yeah,
You can
yeah.
like try to trick him, you can lie to him, you can
Yeah,
do whatever, intimidate him.
it's pretty cool.
My guy wasn't very intimidating, as a skinny little boy.
But like,
Oh,
man, Obsidian is so good. Like just with the writing in general, right?
You,
Because you know, like
That's definitely the best part of this whole game.
like Stick of Truth, right? You got, of course, Fallout New Vegas. I don't think it's a hot take to say Fallout New Vegas is like the best out of 3, 4 in New Vegas, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So it's cool to see them.
you. Sorry.
No, you're good. Just like it's cool to see, it's cool to see Obsidian like doing good shit, and now they have just like liquid money injected into them, so they got that Xbox money, right? So,
Wait, does Obsidian have that or?
they got purchased.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which is funny because they could make like a New Vegas 2 now technically, but
Just make it somewhere else.
They're doing Outer Worlds 2 though
Outer Worlds
first, I
2,
think.
and then they're doing like a Skyrim, like their own version of Skyrim. I forgot what it's called.
Yeah, it looks like this thing called Avowed.
Yeah.
It's not,
I guess
doesn't have a-
I guess since Outer Worlds 2 was mentioned, I guess an important part of the entire story is that Earth has stopped responding. Like Earth has gone quiet.
Oh, I missed that.
The
Right,
home
yeah.
system is like not responding anymore, and Halcyon has lost contact with it.
Yeah,
And that's
it's like,
a pretty major part.
yeah, it dropped like hints throughout the game, and then near the end, you find out like there's just nothing at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
That's
think
cool. That's a
part
good
of
hook.
it, yeah, I feel like Outer Worlds 2 might like take us back a little. It
That's
might,
kind
like,
of that's really
I
cool.
hope it would take us back to Earth.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But because like I would, if that like new colony, this like much like younger colony compared to Earth looked like that corporate hell, I'd want to see what the home system looks like, you know?
Yeah, right. Like how much worse it is and how like destroyed.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like it would probably take away a little bit from like the spacey fun stuff to like go to Earth and have it just be like gray and like awful.
Yeah, like I'm
But,
sure there's still like corporate terraforming and shit. I mean, they tried to do that on
Yeah.
an asteroid, basically.
Right.
So
Right.
I'm sure they've got like the technology to keep some green around, but I'm sure that there would be like corporate outposts on every fucking rotating body in the solar system.
And there's other colonies other than Halcyon, right? I'm pretty sure there's other systems because I remember hearing or reading one of the things that they're like getting help from other
Yeah.
colonies. Yeah.
Yeah, I think part of the end, like one of the endings you can get is like to start reaching out to other colonies.
Yeah. So even if something did happen to Earth or whatever is going to happen, there's like a bunch of other colonies
Yeah.
that you manage to just spread out to.
How far in the future is Outer Worlds? Like I'm not sure.
I don't know if it really says, but it feels like very like not.
It feels
near
like a
future
couple
at all,
hundred
right?
years, you know, like
Yeah.
At least, yeah. Okay.
I think Outer Wilds is or Outer Worlds.
I did that so many times while I was looking stuff up. I kept putting in Outer Wilds. God damn it.
I think Outer Worlds is also set in an alternate timeline. I'm pretty
yeah,
sure.
for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like a Fallout type thing.
Yeah.
Like just alternate history.
Obsidian does love their branch points, you know.
Yeah. I'd be curious to know what the like branch point for this is then.
Oh, okay. It's set in the year 2355.
It's a good year.
Yeah.
Good, great.
Can't wait to live to that year, bro. I'm gonna get frozen. I'm excited.
Nah, dude.
It's gonna
Life
be huge.
expectancy keeps going up. You never know what it's gonna be when we're 100.
True.
105.
I don't want to live past like 80, so
I know, right?
Oh, well, you want to make a deal then, Kody? I'll come and get you.
Dude.
Come and put you out of your misery.
thank God. Just shoot me into the sun after you do it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'll be 82, so I'll be a spring chicken as well, and I'll just come and fuck you up.
Me and one of my buddies from high school, we have this pact, right? If we're both old and we both get terminal diseases at the same time, we're gonna fight to the death.
Nice. Can you live
Nice.
stream it on like Twitch so I can watch?
I feel like that might violate the terms of service.
Hey, who knows what the terms of service will look like? I mean,
Nah, dude.
Yeah.
hot tub
The terms of service
streamers,
just
like,
keep
come
getting
on,
longer,
listen.
bro.
I feel like it will be something. It will be like Twitch Plus or something. It'll be jerk at that point.
All right, fellas. Do you want to do stamps then?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right, I never go first. So I'm gonna go first because you guys always steal my shit. Because we all have like poo poo pee pee brain and we think of the same thing. I'm gonna go with dialogue options right on the front. Hopefully that wouldn't make someone think, oh, it has them. I'm saying it is them.
Right.
Like, so the dialogue trees are so cool and just really well written. I'm gonna put parentheses. Just the writing though, like is what I'm talking, and then double parentheses. That's what I'm talking about. Is that clear? Triple parentheses. Thanks. It's me, Evan. Bye.
What about a PS
on the box? Yeah. How about our guest, Greg?
I think I'll say, has the non-stop stress of modern corporate hellscape life got you down? Distract yourself with one in space.
Definitely feels very pertinent to someone as a person who works in an office.
Right.
Like,
and
just grinding my days away.
Severance, right, Evan?
Definitely feels like office work.
Yeah.
I do like I love just how deep it gets, because like so much of it is like ridiculous but not really if you know anything about the corporate world. Like if corporations had the power, I could totally see them sending in kill bots to clean out like striking orders.
Yeah. All right, Kody, what's up?
Yo, I just gotta say, like, Obsidian, you've done it again, you crazy bastards. Definitely, like, I'm way cooler on the game. Maybe that time has gone on, but talking about it has really kind of like made me realize, like, oh yeah, it really is a game that I love. And I think that I'm super pumped to see like the next step, right? Because this is like, oh, we're charting out on our own, like, hey, let's do something that's away from, first person shooter Bethesda like game, but let's do it better than them, right? And I think they kind of checked all the boxes, right? We didn't talk about any Bethesda glitches, right? Like, it's got
all very glitchy.
Exactly, right? So it's got like this polish that Bethesda games can only dream of, right? The writing is way better, like all the stuff. So I really think that they're coming into their own right now, and they have just like, hit after hit after hit. So, just look forward to.
We'll see how Starfield competes.
That's true. That's like the funny part, right? Like they beat Bethesda to the Fallout in space, and they might even have, if Starfield doesn't get delayed again, maybe like Outer Worlds 2 will come out before Starfield. But
I mean, knowing Bethesda, I'm certain that Starfield will just be so much bigger.
For sure.
Yeah, but they have, now that they have, like Kody was saying, they have like Microsoft money now.
That's
like,
true.
They are gonna be able to dump money into Outer Worlds 2, dude. It's gonna. I mean, I guess they're all owned by Bethesda. They probably won't want to try to put it into, or sorry, not all. Bethesda's owned by Microsoft, and so is Obsidian.
It'd probably be different times.
We said that, right?
Yeah,
they wouldn't want to release them around the same time because they wouldn't want to make them compete.
Right. You want to spread out your space games. For sure.
But we'll see how they compete to us.
Yeah. The critic. That's us.
It's the Guitar Hero versus Rock Band thing all over again.
True.
Owned by the same people.
Yeah. True.
All right, Casper. What's your stamp, brother?
Try the bread.
Try the bread.
Have you guys,
okay.
You guys, one of the first food items you pick up is bread, but
okay.
I haven't eaten any food.
It's BRED, and when you're like traveling the first planet, you find this animal. It's like this big worm thing, and when you hover over it, it's called bread.
It's called bread.
Yeah. That's nice. Yeah. That's classic. Yeah.
That's really fucking funny. Yeah, this game's just full of that. Its sense of humor is also like, on top of just the like well paced and intricate writing, like it's just super funny too.
Yeah, it's like more subtle than like Borderlands, right? Because like people complain all the time, like Borderlands is your more like poo jokes, right?
Yeah, for sure.
This is a thinking man's game.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know, as like a gaming experience, I would give it like a 9 out of 10. And like the only reason it's not 10 out of 10 is because it's just kind of, it feels like it's missing just like that little bit that pushes it over. But it is a really, really fun game to play.
But to your point, Greg, like I really think like this was their first crack at it, right? So Outer Worlds 2, like I have full confidence that Obsidian's gonna knock that baby out of the park.
Yeah, really excited to see where it comes out.
Yeah. Super cool. Our next game, I don't know who picked it.
I think
I think
Casper
Casper did. So Casper, you can say what it
I
is.
don't remember what it was.
Void
It's Void
Bastards.
Bastards. It's Void Bastards. I have the Wikipedia up right now. Void Bastards is a science fiction first-person shooter and roguelike video game developed by Australian studio Blue Manchu and published by Humble Bundle.
Oh, it's published by Humble Bundle?
So if you want to,
That's interesting.
yeah, they
they're
publish a
getting
lot
into
of games.
I didn't know that.
publishing now, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Huh.
they started self. Did you guys? So now is about to be a wicked tangent. But did you guys ever play that rabbit fighting game?
Oh, Fist?
No, it's older than that.
It's a different rabbit fighting game. Darn.
Rabbit fighting game.
Jump Force.
It's not like a fighting game, but it's like a rabbit adventure game where you like fist fight.
Nickelodeon
It's
All
like on
Stars.
PC.
It sounds cool,
Yeah.
but I don't think I've ever seen it.
Multiverses,
the DC Smash Bros. Club.
Overgrowth. It's called Overgrowth.
Oh, okay, yeah,
And-
I know that one.
Mortal
Yeah.
Kombat 11.
And that's by the guy that did started Humble Bundle, and I think
Oh.
he established the publishing
Like
branch
arm
to
of it,
publish
yeah.
that game for himself.
What a cool guy.
Yeah, I believe that's the last game he did. Oh yeah, and he did Receiver, but that Receiver's older.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, so yeah, it's by Humble Bundle. If you're interested in playing along with us, dear listener, you can play it on PC, Xbox One, Switch, PlayStation 4. It's on all 4 of those. And we will be back in 1 month's time to discuss such things. We'll see how much we all get to play of it. I want to thank my sexy co-hosts, Casper and Kody. Thanks,
Thank you,
guys.
buddy. Of course.
And our extremely sexy guest, Greg. Thank you for coming. Oh, he winked into the camera.
Greg,
It was
do you
it's a
have the
lot.
title for most guest appearances?
Probably. This is like my third or fourth one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe
you
you're
would
tied with
runner up
Joe.
with like 2 or 3.
Maybe you're tied with Joe or Aiden because they've been on quite a few. But
Yeah. I was supposed to be on the Spec Ops The Line one, and then I had to miss that.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. For a second, I was like, "Is that a lost episode?" And then I remembered that episode actually came out.
That one was a banger.
Yeah, it was a banger of an episode. All right, let's all go home and go to bed. Sound
I
good?
got a bowl of pasta just waiting for me.
Bastard.
Yeah.
I gotta go
All
put
right.
my pasta together.
Thanks for listening.
You guys.